very basic contact drill. The energy drills that you've just seen, let me just explain to them what they're about. They're known as the Hubbard energy drills. They're found in fighting systems like Kali and JKD. They're not taught in traditional Wing Chun. In Wing Chun, their main drill is Chi Sao. They do this because a Wing Chun man likes to control and dominate the center line. He will actively encourage you to hit from left hooks, right hooks, from outside the line, so he can step in and control it. In Kali, it's the complete reverse. With a Kali fighter, he encourages you to attack the center line, because a Kali man likes to work outside in. Both systems are highly effective within their own right, but when you combine the concept of both together, you come up with a completely different concept. And that is what you're learning in this system. The ability to fight along the center line and the ability to fight outside the line. In our system, I've always taught you to have an open mind. Okay, it's very important for any martial artist, and particularly the system that you're learning, to meet the needs and requirements of today. If you look at it, what was taught perhaps 200-300 years ago may not be as effective in today's society, because we've evolved. Our working environments are different, the way we socialise is different, the way we communicate and the way we travel are all different to what took place 200 years ago. So your system that you're learning have to meet the needs and requirements of the day. If you look at Wing Chun, a Wing Chun man will always try and stay on his feet. If he goes to the ground, yeah, he's going to have problems, because he's not taught to fight on the ground. So he will always try and stay on his feet. In this system, later on, you will be taught defensive and grappling techniques on the floor. Why? Because if you look at some of the greatest fighters of our time, people like Muhammad Ali, Joe Louis, both of them at some stage in their career have found themselves lying on the canvas. And if it can happen to them, it can happen to you. So if you're lying on the floor, it's got to be reasonable to assume that you must be able to defend yourself whilst you're in that position. It sounds pretty simple, because it is simple. Yeah, it's use what is ever useful to you. Always keep an open mind. If somebody teaches you a technique you think is good, use it. Because at the end of the day, it's going to be you that's out in the street defending yourself, your family and your friends. Okay? So if you know a technique that your opponent doesn't, you've got a far greater chance of surviving. And that's what Kung Fu essentially is. Yeah, it's using your skills and your techniques to survive an aggressive attacker. And like I say, times change. In the 30s and 40s, you would have two people fighting in the pub. They'd go outside, there'd be a ring of people outside, and they'd fight inside that circle. And it was a fair fight. Doesn't happen today. How many times do you see that happen today? There are people today that cannot go out and socialise unless they're high on smack or alcohol. Do you think those people are going to come up to you and say, look, let's go outside? It won't happen. They will try to do you there and then. And that's what your system has to be able to deal with. Okay? Always keep an open mind. Always try to evolve. Right, so that is basically the energy drills and the contact drills. In the next section, we're now going to have a look at stick work. Okay, in this section, we're going to look at the Kali stick. Let me explain to you first of all how to hold the stick. If you hold the stick upright, put your left hand on the bottom of the stick and your right hand on the top. Okay, never have your thumb that way. Always have it in a fist. Okay, it makes the stick far difficult to leave your hand. When you look at the stick, the bottom part of the stick is the elbow. This is the forearm, and the top part is the fist. Okay, so that's essentially the way to hold the stick. In our system, when we fight people, we always concentrate on the weapon that's in their hand before we actually go in and take them out. So if any attacks me with a stick, yeah, we block here. My first concern is to get this stick out of his hand. And there's a number of ways in which we do that. As we attach here, I strike straight down to his hand, yeah, onto his thumb. That will cause him to drop the stick. If he does it again, block, my hand comes around the back and hits the back of his hand. So it's block, back of the hand, yeah? Again, these are just simple basic ones. Block, and up underneath, okay? Boom. So when you practice with your partner, you're going to do all three in one go. So it's there, straight down to the thumb, back of the hand, up under the hand, and catch, okay? On this one, I'll show you a technique to take the stick off somebody without actually striking the hand. So as he comes forward to hit me, I block here and my left hand touches his hand, covers his hand. As I strike to the head, yeah, I turn his hand and grab hold of the stick. Then step back and take the stick out. Okay? Another technique, a defensive technique with a stick. You imagine you're not even holding your stick that way, you're holding your stick this way. As he steps in to strike, okay, you're going to block your hand, you use your hand to block. This stick then flicks to the groin. When you flick it out. So bang into the groin. Your hand then comes up underneath and the stick goes underneath his neck. In this position his arm's in a lock and his stick is pressing up against his neck. You step back with your left foot and you can take your man down and control him that way. We look at the defensive technique now against the knife. Again, remember the sticks, you use them exactly the same way that we use our hands. Because the stick is simply an extension of our hand. So when Eddie comes at me to stab me, I'll go here. That's my first strike. From here, I'll follow the line of his hand to the side of his head. I come back round to that side of his head. Inside of his leg, outside of his leg, back of his head. Okay, watch one more time. So as he attacks, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. For the purpose of this technique, we'll use the sponge stick. So as he comes forward, this technique is all one movement. 1, 2, one movement. Bang, bang. Then bang, bang, bang. There. Watch again. He attacks. Okay. Push pause. Okay, we're now going to have a look at a single stick energy drill. Facing your partner in ready position. Both sides step out with your right leg and you strike across 3 times. Come inside the line, outside the line, back up. Make sure you keep your hand always behind the stick. Then you go outside, 1, 2, 3, outside. Then you do a combination. High, low, high, high, inside, straight down the line. Go low again, high, low and back. That's your single stick energy drill. Watch one more time, from ready position, across 3, inside the line, outside the line, cross, outside, inside, combinations, straight down, and back. That's your single stick energy drill. We'll now focus on looking at double stick energy drills. Okay, we'll now have a look at double stick energy drills. Face your partner, both sides left leg forward. Start off striking with your right stick. High, low, bend, high, low, high, low. From 2s, we're going to go into 3s. Okay? From playing with your partner with 2s, then we're going to go into 3s. From 3s, we're going to go into 4s. If you miss a click, then go back and get it. That's how you have your hand smash. That is basically the energy drill. Double stick energy drill, the basic one. You go from 2 combinations, 3 combinations, 4 combinations. Okay, we're now going to look at a very basic 2-stick attack. Face your partner, both sides have left leg forward. You start the attack off with your left hand, strike down, followed by your right hand high, then come low. Then left hand, right hand, left hand, right hand, left hand, right hand. Very, very basic. Watch again, simple attack, left hand first, and back. One more time. And that is basically the stick attack, double stick attack.